All right, and we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Thought I would sit down, do a Q&A for you guys, do a nice one this afternoon, nice Friday afternoon. Finish with everything important. The only other stuff I have to do today is social media posts. I have some client sheets I can do. I don't have to do them. Everyone's caught up. Like, so people who don't need sheets till Sunday or Monday, I could do some of their sheets today. Work is pretty well done. Thank you, Defiant. Good afternoon, man. We're getting those. I knew they would go out. I knew if I did not do a midday, we would be getting notices immediately. I timed it and looked at my stuff, so I know how to get them in the afternoon now. This is where the money is. This morning was good, though. I picked up subscribers. I picked up a channel membership, and we had like $32 in super chats this morning during coffee while waking up. Then we had a good workout, right? We did some good squatting, some good benching. Dips went good. Chin-ups went good. Good workout overall. So I'm done with the lifting for the week. I may take a run in the morning. Otherwise, I'll kind of chill for the weekend, make some progress, some gains. So yeah, I thought I'd get over. Let's do a Q&A, man. I think I timed it. I didn't need a topic because I'm like, look, if I hit it at this time after only doing 2 videos today, just a vlog and a coffee chat, I know it will hit the alerts. This will fill up. We'll get lots of people. I'll let you guys pick the topics. All right, we'll get some stuff. Get the cardio in. So I might do a quick run in the morning, while I'm still fast to get up to the run. I don't have any calls scheduled this weekend, but I've had a good week, man. I've did consultations this week. Had 2 return clients, picked up a new client last weekend. Like, stuff's all in a good flow, man. Supers were hitting hard today too, so I'm just kind of good, man. Next week, one of my normal clients, he's redoing his package, he's renewing, so we're in a good flow. So I'm not that worried about trying to push massive amounts of YouTube content. Just get my little bit of stuff up, my vlogs, do my live streams, and chat with my people, right? Now, I wish I could get these up on the Facebook concurrently again, but I still have a slight hold on that. It's bugging out. It's not letting me do any. But when they are, man, we'll double stream. But yeah, we're back. We're back, Shrill. So how about you, David? How you doing, man? Let's get some conversations going. Maybe I need to make a community tab post too to let people know that we are in a live stream. I keep making typos. All right, let's get that up and going. All right, get that up and going. That'll hopefully get a few more people in, and yeah, we'll be good to go. But no, happy with the workout today, doing exactly what I said I'm going to be doing with the training. I think I just overtrained my arms too much. Just get really strong at weighted chins and weighted dips again, and just let the arms do what they're going to do. That's what we're going to do. And just focus on my GPP outside of all that. Right? Do those movements, squat, bench, and deadlift. Do some shoulder work, and all my GPP. Do some running, weighted carries, throws, sled work. It's a little warm. I'm going to turn my fan up in here just a hair. Right? We're going to turn the fan up a hair, or I'll just turn the AC. I can do that. I'll be right back. That's also an option. So hit the like button, though, guys. Hit that like button. So I guess if no one's going to ask questions yet, we're going to get people in. No one's got questions. I'll pick some conversations for the day. So I decided I'm going to stop doing curls for a bit. That's what we're going to do for just a little while. I feel like they haven't benefited my arms. I overtrain my arms. I do way too much volume, and my arms are not any bigger than when I didn't do curls. They're not any bigger, right? The more I obsess over curls, the more everything grows but my biceps. So I'm going to treat my biceps the same way I treat my quads, right? And I have massive quads. I am going to take the advice that people who didn't like whatever they see my pictures, well, why don't you train your biceps the way that you train your quads? That's a great question. Like, why do I bodybuild my biceps and then have disproportionately small biceps, and I just powerlift and athlete my quads and they get massive? It's a good question, isn't it? Just get really, really strong at compound movements and use moderate volume, right? I'm on the train, so I can't really chat. I'll just listen. All right, fair enough, David. That's all good, man. But at least other people will chime in here shortly. Once it's the morning one, look how the morning went. We had nothing. Dude, I didn't have a regular in for the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It was like no viewers, and then it just picked up. And then its super chats just blew in like crazy. Like they were just like 7 super chats in a row, channel membership. It picked up in the second hour. So I kind of think this afternoon chat, I'm just going to get it flowing, get in here and just talk to people, chat with everybody. All right. Just chat with people until it really picks up. That seemed to work well, for the coffee chat, man. I think they just enjoyed the banter. They enjoyed the banter, the Q&As, and people just started donating and grabbing memberships, and it was just on fire. But it took 30, 45 minutes before it picked up. It didn't even pick up till the second hour. So that's interesting with these things, But then it was super productive. Like if every one of my live streams were as productive as coffee chat, the tubes would be on fire, Hello, Team Blaha. What's up, Limitless? How you doing, broski? So you saw this thing. Remember, Limitless? The morning chat was on fire. It was just, once the first 30, 45 minutes were up, it was like slow. There was nobody in there. This one at least has people already. I just sat here talking to myself. Yeah, we had like 5 supers and gifted membership, everything. No, I mean, that was in the last couple of weeks. That's like the second highest, most productive day I've had. Like I got 50 in supers last week though. Like I did have a 50, but I mean, we're in a new life now. Who knows what will happen? And nobody knows. We'll see. Yeah, but those memberships have been climbing. The channel memberships have been climbing lately because people like having the star by their name who are regulars in the super chats. Right? They like that. And plus, I be giving voting powers and voting nomination powers to ban people for the membership. So it's just fair. I don't think that's unreasonable. Like, and amazing advice as per usual, right? We went pretty hard on that advice this morning. We had a lot of training discussions this morning. We had a lot of lifestyle discussions this morning. Just giving people general advice. We even gave you advice, Limitless, on how to go about moving and what your financial opportunities would be if you go to a different country. But it was funny. People got mad when I said you should move to the U.S. They're like, why do you want to? It's like, not that we have, the problem is not that we have too many immigrants, is that we don't have immigrants who bring true value. We don't have enough of those. That's the issue. In your case, you're a non-criminal with a master's degree in engineering. I try to tell people that's who you want coming to your country. Someone who follows the law, has advanced degrees in engineering or hard sciences. Like, obviously, this is what you want. People have to have some common sense. Thank you, Coach. I think I was not. No, dude. Limitless. Like if you're not trolling about what your actual background is in terms of education, you will probably, with a little work, would be able to find a company willing to pay for your visa, right? As long as if you're being forthright and that really is what you have for a background, you'll find a U.S. company that'll end up paying for your visa. Coach, what are some strategies I can employ to stop binging at night? Protein loading. So Joe, now let's get over into that. That's a great question. A really good strategy. If you're a person who's prone to that night binging, protein. So what you need to do is have a bunch of protein in your fridge. And I'm talking lean protein, fat-free Greek yogurt. Okay. Chicken breast. And I mean just baked or grilled chicken breast, like pounds of it in the fridge. Why? Because if you wake up and you feel the urge to binge and you start just chewing on chicken breast, or you start trying to just eat the Greek yogurt, it's going to stop your binge, and it's going to do so in a way that's going to cause no fat gain. Nobody's getting fat by loading a bunch of protein. like straight lean protein. Usually just last meal till quite late. Yeah, I usually do protein for my last meal too. Like even though I do fasting, like I haven't eaten everything today. I've eaten all my rice and stuff. I'll probably do a cantaloupe and then I'll do just some plain Greek yogurt with a little honey and some cinnamon on it for my final meal here later. But if I get hungry in the middle of the night, thanks Max the Veins for popping. If I get hungry in the middle of the night and I'm just like, I've got to have something to eat, I go straight to the chicken breast. Right? And I just grab one of those chicken breasts out of the fridge and I tear a chunk of it off and I start eating it. Your desire to binge goes away. If you just start chewing on cold, grilled or baked chicken breast right out of the fridge, or even if you squirt some mustard on it and you start eating that, you'll get about 3 or 4 or 5 bites into it. And your desire to binge will just go away. You'll just be like, and let's be clear, I'm a fatty boom boom baddie. Used to be over 300 pounds, crazy binge eater. So if this works for me, like if this works for my genetic hippopotamus butt, then it can work for anybody, right? Because let's be fair here. Coach Blaha was a hungry hippo. Hungry hippo. That game. That's me, dude. You guys saw. You have seen what I looked like before I got into lifting. People are like, wow, you're a fat nerd. Oh my God. Yeah, dudes, when I put up pictures, like, holy, you freaking nerd hippopotamus. Nerdy hippopotamus from hell right there, man. Incel looking neck beard mofo right there. That was me. Okay. So I gotta look it up, dude. I put up pictures. So if this strategy works for my binges, it's sure as hell gonna work for you. So straight carb, low fat, dude, just straight protein, man. Yeah, dude. I mean, look at how I look defiant. I went from that though to being the coach with the most, with them veins popping everywhere. Been married twice. Used to date a stripper. But that's in my past. No more bad girls. No more bad girls for Coach. We're done with that. All right. If she got nipples and clit pierced, that's a red flag. We done. Red flag. Meet your church girl. All right. But back over to the point. That works for me great, dude. But I mean, the Greek yogurt can get the job done too. But man, you just go straight to lean meat and just grab it out of the fridge and start chowing down on that. If you feel like you need to binge, if you go on the bed, you wake up, hour after you sleep, like, man, I got a hungry. You stumble around in the fridge, you just grab the lean meat out of the fridge and you start eating it. Squirt a little mustard on it. Your desire to binge disappears. Straight gone, right there. And you don't have time to prepare. You just grab it and go. What do you put? No, dude, just eat the yogurt. So if you need to binge in the middle of the night, you feel that, you just grab the yogurt and start eating it with a spoon right out of the container. Nothing on it. The idea is to blunt your desire to binge in the middle of the night, which is what he's asking about. It just goes away. That cold, lean, relatively bland protein. Now, granted, I've got on the chicken, I've got some other stuff. Oh, what I put in it usual. Sometimes I'll do berries. Right now I've been doing in my yogurt, I like to put cinnamon and then raw honey on it, right? So I get a local raw honey, and I like to put that on top of the Greek yogurt. Put a little bit of cinnamon on there, gives you a little flavor, helps with glycemic control, blood sugar. Cinnamon's actually good for insulin sensitivity. About binging on broccoli. It's going to be hard because it's not going to quite hit the same as you just grab broccoli. Joe says, I quit nicotine and alcohol at the same time. Actually, that's awesome. First off, props before I read the rest of your question. And I went from 215 to 240. Quitting addictive substances will F up your appetite and make you binge to coat. Absolutely, dude. Bro, I already know. Man. like I'm laughing because it's true, dude. It's true. No, I mean he's right. Anyone who's dealt with addictions like that, they know that you're speaking facts. Like they know that you're telling the truth. Like yeah, that's kind of how it works, man. It's like you cope by going from that to something else. But I think that the protein will get the job done. But I mean, you quit alcohol and nicotine all at once, man. You got to give a man credit where credit is due, right? Credit where credit is due. You know, I'm just gonna start using those terms. You know what? We need to bring back and actually normalize terms like alpha again, and not make it a cringe internet thing. When I was growing up, everyone knew what that meant. Can we just say that that's alpha? A man goes to the gym, quits nicotine and alcohol at the same time. Can we just say that's an alpha move without that sounding cringy? I think we can. I think we need to take it back. It's certainly not a beta move. What do we want to call that? You want to call it healthy masculinity? What do we want to call it? Alcohol is way easier to give up than nicotine. I think we'll use the term healthy masculinity. That way we can take that back too. That toxic masculinity over there. How about we just call this healthy masculinity? Right? What's funny is that you see that stuff, and I know women who are like, I don't know, I like me some toxic masculinity. They can rub that all over me. It's funny. Oh, right. They obviously don't care for new wave of feminism when they're saying things like that. Oh, I think that's where we've run into problems also. With all this dating stuff, right? How many of these dudes have dating problems because they've been convinced women don't like masculine men? No, they don't want you masculine. No. Women want you to be masculine as hell. They would like you to be sensitive a little bit with it, right? They want you to be able to open up to them. That's all they're asking. Women want you to be masculine. They want you to be a strong, dominant, masculine man, confident man. But they would like you to be emotionally available to them too. That's it. They like you to be able to open up to them with your feelings. As long as you can do that, they're cool with hyper masculinity. They just don't want you to be closed off. Boom. I remember Elliot Hulse, before he went crazy, made a video explaining some of that, didn't you? You guys remember when Elliot was putting out good info? Before Elliot went down his whole rabbit hole. Yeah, they don't want hyper emotional. Like, look, they expect you to cry if your dog dies. Okay, let's be clear. Your dog dies, your mom dies. They expect you to cry. This is not, that's not what we're saying by hyper emotional. They don't want you to be like sensitive about everything. But they expect you to cry if your dog died. They're going to be there to comfort you. They're cool with this. That's what they want. They want you to be able to open up in front of them. I didn't know. Yeah, all right, fair, good stuff. He went down a weird new agey hole for a bit, but that's good, man. But Elliot kind of broke that down right, didn't he? Do you guys remember that? This was like 12 years ago, 13. So I don't know if people even remember that. I remember Elliot Holster on this platform. He did a breakdown. He goes, look, guys, know what women want. They want that balance. He's like, they want you to be strong. They want you to be a strong, masculine man, but you need to have a soft side that they get to see. That you don't necessarily show the whole world, but your woman gets it. She gets to see it. That's what they want. They're like, you can do whatever you want out of it. Like, you can be hyper masculine all the time. But when she gets you, she wants to see that you got a little bit of soft, compassionate side. That's what she wants. You got to have strong and just a little soft. but she wants that to herself mostly. Unless you got kids, then she wants to see it with the kids and other stuff, right? That's what they want. He broke that down. They want strong with a little bit of that soft to contrast to balance it. But what they want is they don't want a hyper emotional man like you're describing, Defiant. They want a man who can show them his emotion, her the emotion, her the vulnerable side. But they want that for themselves. So if they get that, and you happen to be a very hyper masculine man, that works out really well. Right? In other words, they know that you're going to be the strong man who's going to protect them, but then they get that little bit of squish just for them. It's all theirs. Limitless says, okay, but if a woman says she loves you forever and then 2 weeks later breaks up with you, does that mean, Coach, I don't know your whole dynamic, your situation, Limitless. I don't know. Maybe the girl was just a liar. Maybe she's a young girl. Maybe she's confused. Maybe you need to stop dating half-grown-up schoolgirls. Coach, was Scooby the first large fit that I'm aware of? I don't know that he was. I think there was another guy or two before him. But Scooby was the first one that I became aware of, right? It means she loves too many people. No, Scott, I think he's hooking up with half-grown-up schoolgirls instead of a grown woman. Scooby's still going. Now Scooby still puts up stuff. I saw him on Facebook still. He still does Facebook and the tubes, man. He's still out there. He's still going strong. That's the problem, Limitless. You're playing with little girls instead of grown women, right? You need to get a woman. Yep. I mean, look, we've all had a woman tell us how much she loves us, and then they turn into a 304. They turn into a cheating hoe. It happens, man. But sometimes it's because we ignore the red flags. Just saying, bros. I'm just saying. We ignore the flags. As men, we will do this sometimes, especially if the sex is good. Right? For men, that is our weakness with that. Dude, if the sex is good, that is absolutely going to be our Achilles heel. Right? I am speaking from experience. You will put up with a whole lot of nonsense. Bro, you will put up with a lot of nonsense. Go strong, they will. A good quote, if you are strong, they will try to break you sometimes. Coach, have you ever dated a woman who you consider high in the dark triad trait, psychopath, narcissism, sadism? Yes, I've dated too. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. I have been in relationships, and when I say relationship, we agreed we were a monogamous couple with two girls who I would say are legitimate clinical sociopaths. 2. Coach, do you have children? No, I do not. And one of them, I think outsiders would have no idea they were a sociopath. And all things considered, considering their personal childhood, I can understand how they became a sociopath. If you have children, you could train them to be an athlete. True, I could. But definitely, I would say definitely one of the two. The level of calculation. So one of them was probably a psychopath. The other was a sociopath. Right? How clinical are they with it? how calculating are they? Psychopaths tend to be fairly intelligent, but I've definitely dated one of each of those, really. But the sociopath one, she basically never had a chance. Like, she was never going to be okay, and I should have known that. Like, you don't come back from the stuff she went through. You just don't. And that's a messed up thing to say, that someone's probably too broken to ever really be okay. That's a horrible thing to say. Yeah. Sociopaths lack the impulse control with it, incapable of true empathy, but they lack impulse control. The psychopath is very manipulative and careful in planning in their approach while lacking empathy. Right? They're far more capable of scheming and following through with their schemes, following through with the plan. The sociopath will mess their plan up in the middle of an emotional outburst because they lack impulse control. Right? The psychopath is far more capable of being manipulative too. Far more capable of being manipulative. And they're good at putting on a charming face sometimes. Right? And then they'll use people. And I'm convinced the majority of politicians. There's some evidence to support that. Little says, Coach, as a desperate man, should I take these risks anyways? No, stop being desperate. Stop being desperate. Look, we all have periods of time where we're going to be desperate sometimes. I mean, at some point in your life, most dudes, if you're single, you're going to have a phase somewhere where you're too desperate. But you got to just stop being desperate, limitless. Telling you, man, these people are giving you a hard time in here for a good reason. EJ, what's up? EJ's checking in. We got EJ in the house. Find a purpose. I mean, hold up. Let's look at that meme I posted the other day, right? He's talking about finding a purpose, right? Kind of the point I made with this meme, this post. All right, check this out. Defiant, if you haven't seen it, well, you'll appreciate this. So look at this meme that I posted up on the Facebook. Right? Accurate. I thought the comments were interesting. Hey, Coach Blaha. What's up, Blaze Indo? Those comments were interesting. Do you see the diversity of comments? And the people who got upset with the religion one. And I felt that I gave, something that people need to think about with that. People aren't willing to think about. I am a rational thinking man. I think we can make the logical case for Christianity. Right? You lift today? Yeah, I had a good workout. The vlog is up, man. Did squat, bench, deadlift, weighted dips, weighted chins, strict press, did some laterals. Coach, for some guys who feel they cannot talk to a girl, do you agree they should pay for it? No, dude, they should go learn to talk to girls. No, talk to girls, man. Coach did chin-ups today. Awesome. You did, or are you saying that Coach did? Mic is quiet. Hold up, Blaze. Let me turn that mic up. Let's see. It did turn down a little bit. Let me turn it back up to 90%. Microphone checker. Microphone checker. Are we good? Trill says, I think some people are scorned from religion, seeing hypocrisy in their parents and maybe or religious leaders. And absolutely, and I think they have. I mean, coaching your high school youth athlete, no. So, Trill, I mean, I walked away completely from Christianity, and before I really became a Christian later, because I was raised in that environment. I didn't truly believe in it, though. So I walked out and walked away and became an atheist at one time because of something a preacher told me. Audio still too low? But I came back from that. It didn't. Why does it keep turning down? Quit turning down, audio. Is that better? Please repeat why. So in that case, it had to do with my childhood abuse. I went and talked to a preacher, and I said, you were saying, I heard that you said that God answers the cries of children. And I said, so how come when I was being abused as a child, when I screamed out to God to help me, he never helped me, and it kept happening for a couple of years after that? How come when I cried to God to help me, I kept being molested? So you're a liar. God doesn't answer the cries of children. And he told me, well, we can't always understand. There's evil in the world and things happen for a reason. Dude, I turned around, I threw the Bible at him, his Bible, and turned around and walked out. I became an atheist fully at that point for years. I'm like, dude, I'm done. No. So when he pulled that, well, we can't always understand. Things happen for a reason. You don't know what that term means, Gene? Go look it up. Actually, be careful looking it up. All right. That was a lot for me to come to terms with. That's a hard question to answer. But the thing is, man, he's putting him out here as a man of God and a preacher. And I had a really serious existential crisis question that I was struggling to come to terms with. And I don't want to go into all my thoughts on it now, but I've had to reconcile those thoughts. I've had to reconcile those questions between myself and God. Yes, John, I don't want to go into the details here. All right. You don't know what that, are you trolling me? You really don't know what that means? Yeah. That means sexual abuse. So that is what the term means. Are most fitness influencers who millions of followers are most likely fake names? Of course they are. Do you believe in karma? No, I don't necessarily believe in karma. No, I think there's divine justice at the end of the day. Looking back, do you think God answered you? I feel that I was given answers that I'm okay with. I mean, I'm never going to be okay with what happened in my childhood. I mean, I'm never going to be okay with that. I don't think God is okay with that. But for me, it came down to the point of we live in a sinful world where people are free to make their own choices. People are free to choose to be evil. There'll be a price for that one day. But as this world stands right now, with Satan here, with sin here, we have free will, and God doesn't want people to do these things, but people have the ability to make the choice to be evil, truly evil. And that includes people who molest children, people who torture people who commit mass murders. Like, people have that choice to choose that level of evil because free will exists. Now, the reality is God has given us free will, and he doesn't want us to make those choices, but some people do. And I simply have to accept that, there'll be a reckoning for that later. They're going to have to answer to God for that. Now whether they have repented and gotten salvation ahead of time is going to be a different story, but they're going to have to account for that. All right. What are your thoughts on the Vitruvian physique? I don't even know if he still exists. Is he still alive? I haven't heard about him in years. All right. Well, there's a lot of nuance with that, isn't there, Blaze? Whether because Adam ate the apple. Well, that's considered to be a parable, Limitless. No one thinks this was actually fruit. Right. Whoa, I didn't mean to close that. All right. So no, that's considered to be a parable. All right. Which would you rather have, a 405 bench press being natty or 500 bench press on steroids? I don't know. All right. But that's the other point, Blaze. That's essentially, that is the message in there, right? That's the message in there, Blaze, that we are essentially born into sin. We all do bad things through our life, and God offers salvation through Christ to be forgiven of everything if you truly believe in Him. But He also said that if you love me, you will do as I command. No, I don't currently go to. Well, no, I mean I attend some online churches and follow their stuff right now. But I don't want to go into all that. I don't want them to be harassed, so I'm not going to link any of that. Mainly, I just don't want trolls showing up harassing them right now. Unfortunately, belief is counted to you as righteous. But that is also the way it's laid out too. And Christ did say, if you believe in me, if you love me, you'll do as I command. It doesn't mean you're not still going to make mistakes. No, you're going to make mistakes, but He wants to see the effort. All right, so Blaze says, you think substituting whole wheat pasta with chickpeas will make a material difference in health? I don't know. I don't know on that one. I mean, these are all whole grains type stuff. I don't think you're going to see a huge difference one way or another. Can we discuss training vlogs? Maybe, Kendall. Depends on what's going on. What do you want to discuss in the training vlog? Do you like Nietzsche? I'm very familiar with Nietzsche. I don't necessarily like him. I think Nietzsche has a couple of really good quotes. What are your thoughts on Tanner Shuck? I don't know who she is. Is she hot? All right. Coach, if you were in DM conversations with a girl and she replies 2 hours between messages, did you match her energy? I studied Nietzsche in school. Limitless. Stop playing games. Kendall, I'm not currently coaching any of the women who've been in my blogs. I'm depressed that we lost New York City. No, they might still take it back after that. How much push-ups can you do? I bet I could do at least 10. Considering I do high rep weighted dips with a 45-pound plate, and dips are harder than push-ups, and you've seen me, I rep out 315, then back off work I did 225, which is more than I weigh, for 18 pause reps. I bet you if I ever tried to do a push-up, I bet I could do at least 10 of them. Not that I particularly care or would ever bother to do a push-up. Coach, you do cardio regularly? Yes. You've seen me do 5-mile runs on camera. You've never seen me run 5 miles on camera, then link the app data later? The sport, are you trolling? Vegan Gains has been on gear for 10 years. He upped his doses recently and he admits he's on gear. So you're saying he's lying about being on gear and he's really natural? I don't understand. That seems kind of dumb. So you think he's actually natural and lying about being on steroids and is really natural? Is this what you're asking me? So he says he's on gear. He admits he's on gear. He looks like he's on gear, but you think he might be natural. It's not like he doesn't admit he's on gear. I don't even remember who Frank Tufano is. So, do you think the 9mm is a goat pistol? I think it's a great cut. It's one of my primary outside carry. I only do 9mm and 45 anymore. Right. No, I don't currently do any martial arts. I'm proficient in Glock Fu though. Vegan Gains is crazy guy. Yeah, he's crazy dude. Right. I don't watch his videos. Yeah. So who cares? Why do we even talk about Vegan Gains? Why is he even a topic in here? Yeah. Glock Fu, man. There you go, Trill. That's the best martial art for self-defense. So I don't care. I really don't care about Vegan Gains or really care about discussing him any further. He's a dude with weak legs who gets hurt all the time. He can't squat or deadlift anything. Decent bench and uses a bunch of drugs. Crazy militant vegan. Done. Yeah, I know. Vegan Gains is a power-worthy topic from now on. Do you carry when you do ball tosses? No, technically, I don't have a piece on me, but I have one immediately available. I could get to one super, super fast. Now, when I run, I do carry. So if I go out running, yeah, But I shouldn't have told you that. I probably need to ban you now for being a stalker. So you're trying to find out if I'm vulnerable for a brief period of time so that you could sweep in? Is that what you're asking me, Candle? It sounds to me that's what you're looking for. You're looking for an opportunity to attack me. Because otherwise, why would you ask something like that? Defiant has called for a kapow for you, Candle. You've been up for a vote before. Limitless calls for a kapow. The med ball tosses, I do them on camera, dude. John, they're in my training. Kapow, no, he's not new. Four kapows, multiple, 5 kapows. All right, we're going to warm it up. A little bit of shake. And bake, kapow, and you're out of here, Candle. Justice has been served. Literally trying to look for a moment when you can find me lacking in them streets. Right? He's like, we're going to catch Coach out there lacking in them streets. Right? F out the way, man. He'll just see you, Candle. He'll just make another one. But you know what? People enjoy the voting. People buy channel memberships just for the right to initiate kapow votes now, Blaze. Now, these trolls is lining Coach's pockets. Coach will never be caught lacking in them streets. Coach will he's a true Texan. You never know. I might have a little micro pistol. inside that belt. Oh, God. What thoughts on? Oh, there he is. Dude, this whole sport of bodybuilding guy, he's the Tom Platz guy. We've been wondering where he went. That's him. Coaches sprint better or long run, depends on the goals. How much to obtain that power? To obtain what power? It's $3 for the channel memberships, so you get the little star by your name and all that, and the green. It's $3 a month. It's $2.99 for the channel memberships. I picked up like 12 of them in the last 2 weeks. Well, there's more expensive tiers. Some of the people buy the higher tiers. One of the tiers is like $25. I learned a lot from your firearm channel. You posted a lot of super good info there. Thank you, man. That FBI ballistics report video, I was well compensated for that one. I made $2,500 in ad revenue off that, to be honest. I was well compensated for putting that info out. That video was extremely popular. You know, because I broke down all the data from the FBI handgun ballistics report. It was 32 pages long. I studied the whole thing. I love the voting power. Makes me feel like Julius Caesar, right? Coach, how about swim? Swimming is good. Where's the guy that obsessed with Bane and Mark Bell? I don't know. He'll be in sooner or later. Limitless says, I need a channel membership because no one is safe from. Well, Limitless, buy a channel membership. Is it better than run? Don't necessarily. Well deserved. That video was awesome. And I obviously put some thought into that video. But I got a lot of people I know people who watched it in real life and they're like, dude, damn, that video was solid. Like one of my bros who's a police officer, he's like, dude, that video was solid, man. Like, that was good, dude. You have any concerns regarding the official narrative around Charlie Kirk's passing? Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of concerns about the official narrative. You know, now I haven't looked further into what they're doing with it, but I expressed some concerns, last month. There were things I was a little uncomfortable with. Ballistically. No, I was not police. I have a lot of police friends. I coach a lot of police and I have real life police friends and family. Right? All those videos on that channel are fun. It's all to watch and informative for any PP guy, right? I think the other one that people really enjoyed, you coach them for lifting, just lifting. The guy looked a little too calm in that video. Brandon, I think another one that was extremely popular, like did really, really well, was the discussion of 308 versus 762 Creedmoor for prepping. Right. A lot of people liked that one. Ironically, I just prep with 5.56 days, but depending upon where you live, Coach, they said Charlie's next stop at 30-6. Yeah, Again, as I said before, as someone who has grown up around 30-6, my dad hunted with that. Was his preferred deer cartridge when we were growing up since my early childhood. Having seen numerous whitetail that have been hit with 308 hunting rounds and the exit wounds, even after hitting bone, I'm a little concerned with that official narrative, yeah. Being that I am intimately familiar with that specific cartridge, I'm a little concerned with that narrative. Where can you buy that shirt? USPA's website. I had someone say you only own one of them. I brought them in the other day. I brought a whole stack of them. I got like 4 of the black ones. I have red. I got blue. I don't know how much, but I have heard from many people there would be that distance with just a regular 30-06 hunting cartridge. Yes, I am struggling. No, they don't sponsor me. How do I put this? I am struggling to understand the ballistics of a human neck stopping at 30-06 from a full-size rifle at 200 yards. Completely stopping it and no exit wound. Blaze says, I was going to buy beer, but I turned into your stream, Jason, and I didn't end up going to the store. There we go, man. We're keeping people from drinking alcohol. That's what it's all about right there. Oh, I had a guy tell me it was really good. So I was doing a consult yesterday. And the guy said he's actually another guy who says I inspired him to stop drinking this last year also. But it was kind of cool, you know. So that's another one. He's like, oh, I was going to mention, like, it made me realize it's a poison, and I don't need it because I hadn't thought about the fact that it was a poison. He's like, I knew there were social negatives, but it never really clicked until I listened to you that it was actually a poison. Because he was a younger guy and, you know, drank and everything. You know, he's like, it didn't occur to me. He's like, he's right. It's a poison. It really is a poison. Like I don't need this, you know? So yeah, because he's lifting and trying to be fit and he's trying to make lean gains right now. And, you know, the guy's like 185, about 10, 11% body fat. And he's trying to make some lean gains now. And it's like, you know, alcohol's not going to be conducive to that. You know, you got a good solid muscle base and you're trying to make a lean gains. Like, this is not working. Like, the last thing you want to be doing is going out drinking on Friday night. You know? I mean, we got to be realistic. With the average week's involvement, fair enough, David. You know, but yeah. Coach, do you know wrestling? Not really, no. I don't follow wrestling. Not an avid fan of that. Guys, I'm going to get some water and we'll be right back. All right. Coffee break. Coach, why do you have two guitars? They're two completely different guitars. Because those guitars sound nothing alike. Completely different play and tone. Right? Power the sport of bodybuilding. Oh, man. All right, a vote. Are you calling for a vote, David, on the sport of bodybuilding? As a paying member who's just being weird calling Tom Platz my dad. So David's called for a kapow, or the guy being weird calling Tom Platz my dad over and over. All right, we're up for a vote. I don't start the vote till someone seconds his vote because we don't start off with a single. I think it's a troll question. So kapow, 2 kapows, 3 kapows, 4 kapows. Anybody want to give him a stay? Jean gives a no kapow. Blaze gives a no kapow. Jerome gives a stay. I'm going to give it a few more seconds. Rufio gives a stay. We're tied. We're at a tie right now, guys. Did Mo already vote? Mo didn't vote. Mo gives a kapow. Give 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Ted drops in with a 6 kapow. All right. the sport of bodybuilding. A little bit of shake and bake. You're out of here. Kapow! The gavel of justice has come down upon thee. All right. I will strike you down with great vengeance and furious anger, those who try to poison my brothers. Without deciding, but well, we were at 5-4 already, and then Ted dropped in. That last second dropped it to a 6. Right. Had to hit it. Ted, you looking jack lately, right? What's a kapow? I mean, a kapow, we've delivered the gavel of justice. He's been banned. He has been sentenced to death from the island, from the live stream. This is a democracy. We respect the rule of democracy here. All right. Do you ECD appendix? I absolutely do not appendix. No. At least in the past, you don't appendix for safety, but wondering if you change because there seems to be the norm. No, dude. I am not comfortable violating the laws of firearm safety. Let's go over this. We were taught this as children. All of us who grew up in the firearms world in America. We ready? Number 1, treat every firearm as if it is loaded. Always assume a gun is loaded, even if you have checked it, and handle it with the same respect. Number 2, never point the muzzle at anything you're not willing to shoot. Control the direction of firearm at all times. A safe direction is one where an accidental discharge would not cause injury or death. Number 3, keep your finger off the trigger until your sight's on target and you have decided to fire. This is trigger control. It's critical. Your finger should remain outside the trigger guard until you're ready to shoot to prevent accidental discharges. Wrong term. It's negligent discharge. There are no accidental discharge. Number 4, be sure of your target and what is beyond it. Know what you are shooting at and what is behind it. Be aware of your backstops and the possibility of a ricochet. This is taught to every 5-year-old child in firearm culture. I do not wish to shoot my own penis nor my femoral artery. Therefore, I choose not to carry, no matter how good modern safeties are, and they are very good today, I choose not to carry with it pointed at my junk. What would Colonel Jeff Cooper say about that? Where'd you get the power from? I just came up with it. Coach, I don't know if you addressed this recently. What's your thoughts on main gaining? I refuse to acknowledge the term main gaining. Greg Doucette does not get to change the common meaning of words because he's an influencer. He does not get to change the meaning of recomposition. Now, I am very pro recomp and lean bulking, but I refuse to use the term main gaining. Coach, how different do you feel from compared to when you were in your late 30s? I guess a different, yeah. He must be insecure to call bodybuilding a sport, which is weird. He calls it in the sport of bodybuilding because it's not really a sport, right? They teach you about guns. No, I taught as a child. I grew up in a family that takes these things seriously. I grew up in that culture. You're taught these rules. Like everyone knows this stuff. Most 5-year-olds do have guns. What are you talking about? I did. Bodybuilding is not as hard as a drug taking contest. New SIG pistols have been issued, I heard. I haven't, which ones? I haven't kept up. I'm not buying any more non-American, so I'm not buying any more Glocks. Which one is having new issues? What's the news on that? How to protect the family jewels, maintaining, right? Very logical take. Greg Doucette is one of the biggest weasels in the industry, and that's saying a lot, right? If body fat is sufficiently high but not making progress on a recomp, is it better than to just cut? No. Why? You need to figure out what's wrong with your training. So if you're eating enough calories to maintain body weight and you're making no progress, the P211, I don't like that Sid got that contract, honestly. My opinion. But, so what issues are they having, Ian? There were issues with the P320 definitely drop firing, apparently. Which is not a good thing, dude. If you're in this day and age, if you're producing a handgun to be marketed for carry use, self-defense, or law enforcement use, and your gun is capable of discharging upon being dropped on the ground, that can bankrupt your company. Like and that's a big deal. That's why I remember when that happened, people were like, oh, in today's world, this isn't the old days, guys. People who aren't gun people don't know this. They're unaware of this. In today's world, you manufacturing a firearm that is capable of discharging by being dropped on the ground, you're lucky if that's not the bankruptcy of your company and everyone boycotts you. I don't think people understand how far the technology has gotten. That is considered to be a complete trash dumpster weapon for people who are unfamiliar with the culture. So if you have a handgun that when it's chambered with a round in the chamber, if you come over and you beat it with a hammer and it fires, right? That's not good. Like you're gonna be trolled into the ground as a company for that. That's beyond unacceptable, right? Yeah. So that SIG, that one definitely has been an issue, and that's a problem. Not right back there anytime soon, Coach. It looks more like Pakistan. Most gun owners have never shot. Well, of course they haven't. Yeah. DJ Shipley was promoting it, ruined his name. Only reason I heard about it. Yeah. Yeah. So those SIGs being dropped. So again, note my reservation of SIG getting a military contract when they've produced a pistol that's capable of drop firing. That's a problem. I haven't heard anything from Izzy this year. I've chatted with Izzy in the past. Like I've had some private chats with Izzy. I haven't heard from Izzy at all this year. Now that I think about it, I haven't heard from Izzy at all. So those who don't know, he's talking about Izzy Navarro. He used to do powerlifting to win before he got into bodybuilding. So he's definitely getting a lot of shite for this. But they should. Bro, in today's modern world, engineering a firearm that's not drop safe. In the field, a police officer drops it and it discharges. You should be getting flack. That is such an unacceptable level of bad design in engineering. Drop safe has to be a minimum. Yeah, absolutely. And I do mean that, Mo. Drop safe has to be the minimum. Yep. It's like when I was reading that little summary out, when it said accidental, I changed it and said there's no such thing. This is fitness, but we cover everything, Jerome. We cover a lot of topics. We also do be asking for relationship advice. We discuss Christianity, religion. We discuss theoretical physics. We discuss all sorts of stuff, man. How about we stick to whatever we want to stick to? My house, my rules. I will come into your house and tell you what to do. Do I come into your home and tell you what to do, Jerome? All right. John Moses Browning made the most goated handgun today. Well, look, I kind of do. I like 1911s. Let's hear some. Well, you got to ask some. I'm not gonna lie. I really do like 1911s a lot. I don't own any right now, but I do like them. You know. Yes. So the what? The what rifle? There's no such thing, man. Assault in action. The assault rifle. Careful, man. You might have outed yourself. Every gun dude's eyebrow just raised. Right. 1911 is bad for the new gun owner because it's more hassle. True. It's a gentleman's weapon. You know, what is Samorlin? Samorlin is basically an HGH secretagogue. Right, it's a peptides. Thoughts on the Spanish? I don't know what Spanish rifle. Everybody uses NATO rounds, man. Oh, well. 5.56 and 7.62 NATO are pretty ubiquitous. This is not exactly rare. All right, thoughts on Spanish rifle? I know literally 80% of militaries around the world have chambered in this. Right. Man, we didn't get any supers in here. We had a crazy good super chat this morning, which kind of threw me off. I was wondering what would happen here. This newer rifle don't keep up, but I've heard the M4 this switch because they don't. I know they're having a whole thing with the M4 in the U.S. You have that whole big project. I don't know how I feel about it. I guess we'll see. But they're going to be using a completely different type of cartridge design. I haven't kept up with it again lately with the whole change. I don't know why they needed the M4 was fine. M4 was fine for what we do. Thoughts on Russia and China surpassing us in the military technology race? They haven't. Plays NBS, NBA in general. Now I'm not watching any of the game today. No, they're doing away with it. If they go with the new rifle project, they're doing away completely with the 5.56 and 7.62 NATO for a new proprietary cartridge. It will not be using traditional brass either. So it's like a bimetal type case with like a carbon fiber. Yeah, it's just a whole different beast. Why are we losing to Russia right now? We don't discuss that topic at all. We don't say those two words in the same line on YouTube, Blaze. I'm going to delete your comment. I'm not going to ban you, but that comment has to be deleted. That's a risk to my channel as a tiered partner. So I'm deleting your comment so they're AI. Look at my views just dropped. I hope that wasn't their AI cutting people out because of what you wrote. I've said the SCAR isn't being produced anymore. SCAR, no, it's picking back up. Yeah, we don't use those two countries in the same line together on this platform. I got an email from YouTube about it a couple of years back. So I'm sad the SCAR isn't being produced anymore. I kind of like them. They're ugly as hell, but I like them. There's a picture of me holding one in the shop up somewhere. Let me put up. Yeah, it's all good, man. Hey, Jerome. How about I don't say them together at the same time? There is a specific conflict involving two Eastern European type countries that YouTube has put out very clear memos about what we are allowed to say or not say or disregard it. or we're under threat of losing our monetization status. We all got emails about it a couple years ago. I'm not allowed to say I don't care about it either. That was explicitly stated. So I'm just going to delete the comments and not discuss it, pretend I didn't see it. We have been warned that we're not allowed to say we don't care. So, Blaze, kind of appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much. Being dismissive could endanger your monetization status. So I'm not going to be dismissive. I don't know any, I didn't see it. All right, M4 also has issues with long distance targets scoring best compared to. Will, I'm the wrong person for you to have said that to. Did you not miss the talk about me making all that money on those ballistic discussion videos? You just made yourself look insanely stupid. Are you trying to tell me that at long distance, the 7.62 by 39 Russian has superior armor defeating capability to a 5.56 NATO? Is that what you just implied? Let me state that again. Are you implying that at longer distances, the 7.62 by 39 Russian has superior or even equal armor defeating capability of the 5.56 NATO? Okay, comparable rounds. Let's say we're using something that's light armor piercing or standard FMJs. Get Brandon laughing. Right. I just want you to clarify this statement for a moment. Maybe he didn't mean the AK-47. Maybe he meant the 74. You know. Oh my God. Ooh. I'm trying to picture 7.62 by 39 hitting a vest at 500 yards. I'm gonna demonstrate it. What just happened? Something. I think that was pretty accurate, actually. Is that a rock? What's that? Somebody hit me with a slingshot. Oh, I don't know if we even need plates. Like, would 3A Kevlar with just normal soft armor even stop it at that distance? It probably would. Might bounce off of it. Yeah. So. Oh. Oh Lord. Oh man. But no, as far as their other cartridge, not what the 47 shoots. So the newer other stuff, it's going to be relatively equal in terms of armor defeating capability at those distances, at longer distances, which is not good. Right. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Okay, you do realize the second one is horrifically bad for armor defeating capability at any real distance. Like it's horrifically bad. So that's why I'm laughing. Like, I mean, at closer distances on softer armor, sure, but if you're talking plates, yeah, a green tip's good. Depends on the type of armor. Depends on the armor rating, Jerome. Soft armor, oh yeah. But if you're talking anything a 3 or up plate, no. Level 3 or higher plates, no, they'll stop it all day long. Now, spalling is going to be a problem, but penetration is not. The AN94 Hyper is pretty good. That's sweet. Yeah. Modern armor's gotten pretty good. You're not going to find a lot in intermediate cartridges that are going to go through modern armors, though, to be honest. Yeah, there's some newer stuff with certain tungsten, but so even the green tip is light armor piercing. It's not going to be the best. So keep in mind, legitimate true armor piercing is extremely expensive, right? The new modern stuff with the newest tungsten stuff, you're paying like $10 a shot. You know, the one thing though, okay, is it really more reliable? I understand what you're saying. I understand the reputation. I have shot a lot of both the AR platform and AKs. I have killed animals with both. So I'm going to put this lightly. If you have access to oil, no, I do not believe the AK-47 is the more reliable of the two. If you don't have access to any oil, sure. But what if you have access to oil? Like, so let's say end of the world survival scenario, but you find an engine with old crankcase oil in it. You have some oil somewhere. No, I'm going to disagree with that. Right? The M4, which is AR platform, it doesn't run well dry. It doesn't handle dry. It'll run dirty. What it won't run is dry. That's where she runs into problems. You got to keep it wet. You know what I'm saying, bro? You got to keep it wet. You know, but none of this matters. The government just tries. That's not how it works. With those feral hogs. But I've hunted other stuff. I've done whitetail and stuff with 5.56. I've deer hunted with it. My preferred hunting cartridge. But I've done feral hogs with both. Is there any practical reasons to have a match version of a pistol versus a standard? No, not for defensive purposes. No, for target purposes, yeah. No, I've never seen a bear in the wild. And force, considerably more accurate, considerably better effective range. I mean, but to be fair, at 50 or 100 yards, man, a 760 Russian will do work on feral hogs. You know, I've never shot it. I've shot an elk, which uses it over the AK. I prefer the AR platform these days. All of my rifles are actually AR platform right now. Yep, has to be wet or no diddy. Tell them, man. Yeah. Also appreciate the super there, bro. Coach, what bar should I buy for Christmas? SSB or trap bar? Hands down SSB. Appreciate the super chat, BMW. All right. How do you think North Texas would be good for a cabin in the woods retirement? Maybe, could be. Yeah, get them like that. What are your thoughts on 12 gauge? I feel like they don't get enough love. I have a 12 gauge in my kitchen. What caliber would be your go to for a bolt gun? Depends on what you're doing with it. Depends on. I'm a big fan of 308. To be fair, as a baseline. No, I don't use a trap bar. I bought one, but I never use it. You have it, sure, but to me, it's a waste. Yeah, I agree on that one. I don't like trap bars. But I mean, that's going to be dependent on what are you doing with it. There's 200 calibers in bolt guns for a reason. What are you doing with it? What do you mean open trap bar? I don't think they're that useful, to be honest, man. As flexing their high handle trap bar does, this is funny. I mean, it's up to you, dude. But you asked my opinion. I don't think the trap bars are that useful overall. Just my opinion. But if you enjoy it and want one, then by all means. Jerome, bro, why you being racialist in here, man? Bro, all right, man. You guys there's a bunch of channel members in here. The dude's dropping racial for Defiance called for a kapow on you. 2 kapows for Jerome for being racialist. Kapow from Francis. Jerome, we sentence you to death. May God have mercy on your soul. Kapow! And you're out of here. Trying to get me in trouble. Dude, trying to get me canceled. Trying to get me to read racist questions out loud. F out the way, man. Yeah, man. Is it possible to mimic a front squat with the SSB? I mean, not exactly, but it's somewhat close in terms of the center of gravity. BMW become an Orc Warrior. That's the second new channel member today. So what have we done today? We've done $40 in super chats. We've done 2 new channel members, and just in the live streams today. Coming along. So it's been a pretty successful live stream type of day. Plus we picked up, sure, some subscribers in here. Maybe a few. Yeah, Coach ain't falling for that. They already pulled the ones where they do the whole line where they get me to phonetically say something that's close enough to the N word or a variation of it. I fell for it like 5 times before I realized it too. And the people were like, dude, I'm like, oh God. They were asking questions about their knees. And then, they put the word later in it, grow, right after, so that when I read it in the sentence, growing their knees, correct. I fell for it like 5 times. And then it got all over hate videos. The coach is saying that word. Coaches and lead athletes, there we go, absolutely. There we go, there he is. He's being racist again. We caught him. Cheap stuff, that's low grade, I know, right? They'll be trying to drop some Snoop Dogg in here, and I'll be having to read out the question and realize it could be portrayed that way. Someone will come in here later and be like, "What's up, coach?" They'll be like, "Faux shizzle, my nizzle," and I'll be reading it out, and people be like, that nizzle. And then I'll be screwed. They'll be like, technically, the way it rhymes. Right? We all love races on here, especially spicy Latinos. How dated some spicy Latinos. No one's heard from Lars since his surgery, actually. He might not have made it. He had that surgery yesterday, and I haven't seen him check in. Oh, man. Well, I hope he pulled through. I mean, he is in his early 50s, I think. Skill workout to increase your jump height. Like your vertical is very barely trainable, but in general, squats, box jumps, speed squats. Who's your favorite power lifter nowadays? I don't know. Myself. I don't know who's that one hot girl. Hope it was successful. I hope it was too. He was just having like some fatty deposit or something removed, he said. All this back. Why is there somebody knocking at my door? I'll be right back. Let me go see what this is about. I'll be back, guys. It's going to be trolls trying to deliver a pizza. No, it was just literally a door-to-door salesman. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was a legit salesman in his uniform and everything. All right. It's usually pizza, but they can't afford a pizza, so they send breadsticks. That's all they can afford. No, we don't answer the door with an AR. We're civilized. We use a handgun. Use a handgun. I was kind of hoping it would have been a pizza, man. I go make peace with neighbors and give them free pizza. Hey guys, I got a pizza I can't eat. Y'all want it? They'd be like, what? I do stuff like that, like legit. I've had pizza ordered sent here before by haters. I just go give it to my neighbors as a gift. Makes me look good. They wasted money. Yeah. Hey man, I got a pizza for y'all. Oh, good. Exactly. You got to be smart with this stuff. Those hair loss meds. Some of the stuff can impact your DHT, obviously. And DHT has its own benefits. But no, it wasn't. It was not pizza. It was just a guy trying to sell stuff. And it was a legit salesman. Like, he had his shirt on. I was polite, though. It's a no soliciting neighborhood, but I was polite. You don't need pizza. I don't. Yeah, I don't need pizza, but I've given it away, man. You know. Some of those meds, yeah, some of them can cause some potential ED issues. Absolutely cause it. So it's a valid concern. Absolutely a valid concern. We got for new members. Memberships just keep climbing up due to these streams, man. That's good stuff. Yeah. Oh, one of them was the Warlord too. That wasn't the bottom membership. Awesome, man. Haters have a good day, right? If it affected that, then you think it would lower tests. I don't know that. Oh, laters have a good day. Yeah, take care. We're going to let you slide on that misconception about intermediate military cartridges. Yeah. No, Brandon, you asked me earlier too, speaking of the other stuff, I don't do appendix care. You're never going to convince me it's a good idea. It's just absolutely not worth the risk. I don't care how much people claim it shaved a quarter second off their draw time. Oh my bro. Not going to do it. Just laughing, dude. You're like, well, girls can do it. Like, then you're going to have coochie stank on your handgun. Oh, we don't need all that. Morning coach from Australia made it 9 a.m. in the morning Saturday. Awesome, man. It's almost 5 p.m. on a Friday for me. We're winding it down. This has been a good day for life, though, man. Jeremy in the future. Yeah, he is. He's coming to us from the future. So what's happening on the 8th? What's happening on November the 8th, Jeremy, from the future? We need some predictions. We need to know what to expect in the morning. Can you help us out? Because he's from the future, right? That's why I think Australia is not real. I think Australia is a hoax. I mean, does anyone know anyone who's actually been there? Think about it. They got this island with all these koala bears and crocodiles. They claim to be in the future. I'm just saying, guys, I'm just throwing it out there. Think about that. They claim to always be from the future. Oh, yeah, it's the 8th of November in Australia. We'll tell you the things that are going to happen. We're in the future. And they have little fuzzy bears up in the trees. They literally have drop bears. All these crocodiles everywhere, and they have deer that walk on their hind legs and jump around like rabbits. Okay? Look. I was born at night, but not last night, man. Okay? I wasn't born yesterday. I'm not buying it. Not buying it. I've heard kangaroo is actually pretty good. So I've heard kangaroos actually taste pretty decent. Kangaroo have high test levels because they try and box you later. I've heard this. Right. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, you got to think about this. So they claim they have these deer with jackrabbit legs who jump around and try to box you, and they got big teddy bears that drop out of trees. Do y'all believe in any of this nonsense? All right. On this magical island, they have all these creatures, and apparently they have a poisonous duck with 4 webbed feet that's furry, lays eggs, and has nipples. It's called a platypus. You know, again, does anyone know anyone who's actually been there? Just saying, guys. Just throwing it out there. I'm not buying this. I'm not buying any of this for one moment. See the word stupid written on my forehead. Oh, bro. I have a personal question, Coach. You shave your arms or legs? I noticed you grow chest hair. I narrow them off. So the chest, dude, my chest is really furry. I take a number 1 clipper too. But I'd narrow the arms and legs off these days. Dude, I look like a rug otherwise. Like I'm a hairy mofo. All right, I see your last name. We're Slavs, dude. Okay, let's just be clear. You already know. You already understand. Look at my last name. All right, see where I'm going with this, dude. If I don't do something about it, I look like Sasquatch. Think about how big I am too. Like I look like Sasquatch, dude. What do you think of the possibility of flat Earth with continents behind the ice wall? No, Trill. We don't buy any of that nonsense. No, dude. I take the fur off. I defur myself, especially in this Texas heat, man. Especially in this Texas heat. No, I don't think there's any possibility of the flat Earth stuff being true. Nope. You're more likely to convince me that Australia is real. And I'm pretty skeptical on that one. There are arguments that the Bible points to the flat Earth. Yeah, but dude, I wouldn't go that far. There's a lot of stuff in the book of Job. A lot of stuff in the book of Job. Man. Coach getting kind of tired. I gotta get some other posts done. I might wind this down here. Australia is definitely real, but it's so controlled. Basically, everything is illegal here, right? Except shrimp on the Barbie. They don't Foster's beer. They don't outlaw those. All right, guys, or giant ass spiders. Time to wind this down. Let me give you guys a bicep shot before we go. Oh, Mount Bicephalus. And we're out.